Good afternoon, Year 9. Okay, I'm not in school today, but I need you to settle down because I'm going to conduct my class today via this video. I'm going to give you about 30 seconds to settle down. Can you please take out your textbooks? Please don't make too much of noise. Try to focus because this is an online class. I mean, it's through a video. So if you make noise, you won't be able to understand the lesson. All right? Now, as promised, I'm going to take you through chromosomes, right? Now, before we do that, let me do a slight recap of last class's lesson, all right? Now, last class, we visited the topic of identical twins. Do you remember? We talked about how identical twins are formed and what are the similarities, what do they share which is in common and why that happens, right? Remember, we're talking about variation in this whole topic. This whole entire chapter is about variation. Now, what causes variation? We learned two. One is the genetic factor, and one is environment, whereby we looked at identical twins who we took and placed at two different environments, gave them different activity, and then we saw there was a variation. Although genetically they are the same, if you don't follow, I'm going to repeat, genetically they are the same because identical twins come from, do you remember? One egg and one sperm. So they share similar traits, right? However, if you take them to a different environment, for example, different activity, one indoor, one outdoor, and maybe the type of food that they eat, right? If you do that, then you will see some form of variation. Example, one twin will be very fair toned and another twin will be slightly tanned, right? So that's a variation. Another example would be one twin, the type of food, yeah, one twin will be lean, another twin will be slightly muscular or big in size, depending on the type of food or activity the twin does. So you see, variation can also exist because of differences in environmental factors. Now today, we're going to look into the concept of chromosomes, right? Now, what is it that we are going to do in this topic? Now, I've written my lesson objective, all right? Now, what is the objective of today's class? Okay, today's class, we are looking at recognizing chromosomes. So you need to understand what are chromosomes, the definition of it. Genes, okay, what are genes? They are part of the chromosome. You need to know the definition of it and how it varies, right? You need to understand the concept of inheritance. How do we inherit certain traits? We went through this, but I'm going to recap it in today's lesson, tying into chromosomes. And finally, we're going to look at how we determine gender. That means we have male, female. So what is it that determines gender? All right. It's going to be an interesting class because you're going to look at a total new concept compared to all the years of bio that you have done. You're looking today into more detailed version, right? Okay, now, settle down. Now, before we begin to look into chromosome and the definition, let's look at this diagram that I've prepared here. All right, you all know that this is a cell, right? Now, what can you get in a cell? You will get the cell membrane, which is here. I did not label it, but when you get this, I will take a picture of this. I will post it up on Google Classroom. You can actually do all your labeling. All right, you have the cell. You have your cell membrane, you know which is the membrane, the outer covering. You have the cytoplasm, and nested on the cytoplasm is this structure called the nucleus. All right, Harika, Hilary, I hope you're following. Even to the rest of you, let us go through this again. You have a cell, you know this basic components of a cell. Cell membrane, cytoplasm, and nucleus, right? Now, this is the basic that you have learned. Now, in this year, in year 9, you're going to take it one step ahead. That means one step deeper, right? You're going to look into what is it which is in the nucleus. Now, if you recap, what is the function of the nucleus? It holds two functions, all right? First function is the nucleus controls cell activity, all right? I'm going to write a small note here so that you know, all right? The nucleus, what it does is controls cell activity, all right? Number two, what it does is, it plays a very big role in cell division. Okay, cell division means reproduction. That means from one cell becoming two cells becoming more. So the reproductive part of it, the nucleus plays a big part in cell division. Why? Because it holds your genetic material. Alright? Now we're talking about genetic material. Remember, nucleus holds the genetic material, therefore it plays a role in reproduction. Now let's look at what it means by holding genetic material. Now you look at these strands here, right? All these pretty strands here, there's a name for it. We're going to look into it. Now if I blow that up, alright, blow it up a bit, if I take one of it, I'm going to look, it looks like this, right? So what is this one strand called? This one strand here is called a chromosome, alright? This one strand here is called the chromosome. Remember, chromosome is inside the nucleus. Now if I enlarge the chromosome, what can I find inside a chromosome? This is how it looks roughly. I will have this spiral thing that's going this way, alright? I colored these parts, alright? I will have that running as well, alright? Now, what are those? This is called the gene, alright? This part here is called the gene. Now before that, this strand, okay, the one that's going spiral, that is called the DNA. You would have heard of it, right? Now what is another name for DNA? I'm going to write it here. It is called the deoxyribonucleic acid. Very long, right? I'm just showing you. If you learn something, you need to know where it stems from. So you see DNA, right? So again, this is the chromosome. In the chromosome, you get that spiral thing. Now that spiral thing is called the DNA, deoxyribonucleic acid. It's a tongue twister slightly, but do you have to know that? No, you don't have to know that. You just know it as DNA. Alright? Now, in that DNA, you will find, you know, these colored segments. Of course, when you open up your chromosome, you will not see color. I've colored it so that you know what I'm talking about. It's called the gene. Alright? Now, what are these fancy words? What is a chromosome? What is the DNA? What is the gene? Now, let's look into that. Alright? These are the definitions. I hope you can see. Chromosomes are long, thin threads in the nucleus. Let's see if it makes sense, yeah? Chromosomes are long, thin threads. It looks like a thread. It's long, it's thin. Makes sense, right? And where is it? In the nucleus. Easy to remember? I'm sure it is, alright? So if you think about it, it actually makes a little bit of sense. What are chromosomes? Let's repeat. Long, thin threads in the nucleus. Easy? Great. Next one. Remember I said in the chromosome, remember this picture, I find that spiral thing going, that is called the DNA. Now, you don't have to know the full name, just DNA. What is a DNA? Now, DNA are helical. Helical means coiled, alright? Spiral, helical strands in the chromosomes, alright? They are helical strands in the chromosome. That is the simplified version. Do you need to know the complex? No. For now, this is all you have to know, alright? And finally, genes. Remember the colored portions that I had here? Now, what is a gene? Now, genes are special subsections of the DNA, right? This is the DNA, special subsections in the chromosomes which carry trait. Now, very long. What does this mean? Let me break it up for you. Genes are special subsections. Remember, subsection means parts, special parts of the DNA. It's of that DNA. Where is it? In this chromosome that carries the trait. Now, what is your trait? A personality, height, eye color, a type of hair, type of nail, fingerprint. All these are traits. So each of these, actually the gene carries the trait, or gene carries the personality, the type, right? I'm not personality here, I'm not talking about you being an introvert, extrovert. Yeah, no, I'm talking about your characteristics, all right? A very physical based characteristics that you can actually see in this term, all right? Now, let's look at this. We may be wondering, teacher colored 2 here and 2 here. Is that all we have? No, we don't just have 4 genes in each chromosome. No, this is just a sample. If you actually look at your chromosome, if you take the chromosome and you see, each human chromosome has roughly around 1,000 genes. That means around 1,000 traits that they control. It could be a minute thing to a major thing, all right? And each of your cell, all right, each cell of yours, you know you're made up of millions of cells. Just give me a minute, let me just try to do something about this paper. Right. Okay, so each cell of yours, I know some of you all are laughing already, right? Laugh, keep laughing. Yeah, this is just not listening today. Okay, wait. Okay, I think Adityan is not in class. If Adityan was in class, he would have had a real good time laughing at me. But it's okay. Alright, it's going to come out again. Yeah, I'm so sure about it. Hang on, yeah. Please, just give me a minute. Alright, let's see if this works. Okay, it'll work. I hope. Right? Now, each cell has 46 chromosomes. You are made up of millions of cells, all right? That means each cell of yours, if you look at your body, there's so many cells, each of it has 46 chromosomes. Now, where did that 46 chromosomes come from? 23 chromosomes are from your father and 23 chromosomes are from your mother. Again, each cell of yours, each cell has 46 chromosomes, right? Now, each chromosome carries, each cell carries 23 chromosomes from your father and 23 chromosomes from your mother, all right? Now, you already know chromosomes carry genes, right? Now, that means that 23 chromosomes that's coming from your father has father's genes. Another 23 chromosomes coming from your mother, it has mother's genes. 23 means 50% of you have your father, you carry your father's traits, 50% you carry your mother's traits. Does that make sense? All right, good. I hope it does. Now, if anything that I'm teaching on the way, because I'm not there to address your questions, what you can do is write it down in your book somewhere. Put a sticky note or just write down in your exercise book or your textbook. When I come back, we will revisit, all right, with your questions. Teacher, I don't get this. Then I will re-explain so that you get more clarity, right? I hope this video is doing justice. So just bear with me. If you have any questions, write it down. Thanks. All right. Now, are we clear on that? Right. Now, before I move into my final part of the subtopic, which is sex chromosomes and determining boy or girl. I know some of you all are so excited. Oh my God, how are we going to determine if it's a boy or a girl? Before that, hold your horses. I'm going to go back, just rewind a bit to this part here. Do you remember I told you? Nucleus is involved in cell division. Now, what is the definition of cell division? It means the cell divides, right? Now, how does that happen? You see a cell here? Normally, when you look at the cell, you have a cell and you already know this is the nucleus, all right? Now, this is a similar thing, but I can see the chromosomes. Remember the definition of a chromosome? Long, thin thread in the nucleus. Now, this is obvious because when a cell is getting ready to divide, all right, 1 becomes 2 or 2 becomes 4, what happens is the chromosomes start to get more and more obvious, all right? So if you're looking at a cell under the microscope and you can actually see the threads, you know that this cell is ready to divide. Is it possible to see a cell under the microscope where you can't see the threads? Very possible. That means that cell is not ready to divide, all right? It's very possible. And then it becomes thicker. The chromosomes become dense, all right, thicker. The chromosomes are more obvious, all right? And then you see this furrowing. You know what's furrowing? That means it pinches, all right? That starts to happen and the cell starts to split. When the cell starts to split, if you count, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So when it splits, it's going to split equally. 2 cells, it splits, each of it will get 3. Alright? So this is how cell division actually takes place. Alright? I hope you all are clear. Okay? Now this is just, is this going to come out for exams? No, I'm just explaining to you. When you learn cell division, you must know what it means, all right? Division of the cell dividing. How does the cell divide from 1 becoming 2? This is how it divides, all right? The nucleus also divides. The chromosomes in it also will divide, all right? So 1 cell becoming 2, this is what happens. Are we clear? Great. Now, moving on. If you look at page 213, 213 of your textbook, what you will find is, you will find this subtopic called sex chromosomes, all right? Now, rewinding back, each cell has 46 chromosomes, all right? Now, the 46 chromosomes are known as your autosomes and your sex chromosome, all right? That means each cell will have autosomes, you will have 44. Only 44 of autosomes plus 2 sex chromosomes. Sex chromosomes. Okay, plus 2, yeah? Plus 2 of sex chromosomes. Okay, again. Each cell has 46 chromosomes. You're right. But that 46 chromosomes, if you actually look at it, it is made up of 44 autosomes and 2 sex chromosomes. I can already hear in your mind, you are asking yourself, what is this autosome? Am I right? Now, autosomes are non-sex chromosome. That means it determines everything else in you except for your gender. Alright? That means hair color, hair type, type of lips, you know, the thin lips, the thicker lips, the fuller lips, the earlobes, no earlobes, eyelashes, and then your eye color, size of your pupil maybe, your fingerprint, your blood group, all these are non-sex related. That means it doesn't talk about your gender, all right? Nothing to do female and male. So your 44 are autosomes or body chromosomes, all right? That means determining your personality or your traits. 44 plus 2. Now these 2 are your sex chromosomes. Now what are sex chromosomes? Sex chromosomes are just chromosomes which determine gender, male, female. Alright? So because there's male and female, you have these 2 which is either XX, so XX or XY. So example, Oswin's set of chromosomes, each cell of his, Oswin, you will have 44 autosomes plus 1 pair of male sex chromosome which is XY. So you have 44, 45, 46. Alright? Hillary, you will have 44 autosomes plus 1 pair of female sex chromosome, which means you will have 44 plus X plus X. So all you girls in the class, myself included, we have 44 plus XX. So 44, X, 45, 46. All the boys out there, you have 44 plus X plus Y. Okay? Now, are we clear so far? So remember, sex chromosomes determine the gender. If you have a pair of sex chromosome stating XX, you're a female. If you have a sex chromosome stating XY, you are female. For those of you who just did, that means you're paying attention. Alright? I purposely said that wrongly so that you catch it. Let me repeat. If you have the sex chromosome of XX, you are a female. Good. If you have the sex chromosome of X and Y, that would make you a male. Very good. I hope you have answered it as I'm talking, and I hope you're clear. All right. Now, how do we know that a child in the womb of the mother is a boy or a girl? Okay. Yes, I heard someone thinking it. Aaron, if you're in school, I hope it's not you thinking, teacher, we can do ultrasound. Yes, we can do an ultrasound. But without that, how does it work? All right. How is it that the gender is actually determined? All right. Now, males, you carry X and Y, right? That means all your sperms will carry, all the male sperms will carry either X or either Y. I'm emphasizing on the word either. There is no sperm that will carry XY together. No. You have 10 sperms, maybe 5 will carry X, 5 will carry Y. Or it could also be 8 carry X, 2 carry Y. We never know. Alright, it's very random. But for females, all your ovum, what is ovum? Your egg cells. We have done this in year 8, yeah? All your ovum will only carry X chromosome. All X. Alright? So, during fertilization, you already know what's the definition of fertilization. Can I hear the whole class? Please tell me, what is the definition of fertilization in a human? When? Yes, the male sex cell, the nucleus of the male sex cell fuses with the nucleus of the female sex cell. That means the nucleus of the sperm fuses with the nucleus of the ovum. Very good. So, that means, remember, sperm either carries X or Y, right? So, this sperm will carry X, one sperm will carry Y. One egg will carry X, one egg will carry another X, alright? Now, fertilization is very random. We don't know which sperm will pair with which ovum. So, it's randomization. So, how does it work? This sperm could fuse with this ovum, alright? This sperm from the father, remember father carries XY, right? The sperm could have X, could have Y, right? So, let's do the first possibility. This one, this sperm will fuse with this egg. What will you get? X, X, I will have X, X. Got it? Right? Again, this sperm will fuse with this egg. This is X, I'll have X, X. Alright? Or, this sperm could also fuse with this. Again, another XX. Good. Alright? Or, remember we have another type of sperm, the one carrying the Y chromosome. Now, this sperm can fuse with this. Alright? Now, this would be XY, right? XY. Or, this could fuse with this. Also could be XY. So, you see? Right? Now, what is XX again? Girl or boy? Good. So, XX would be a girl. Here, XX, also girl. How about XY? XY would be a, okay, boy. Here also, boy. So, which means I have a 50% chance I will get a boy, or I have a 50% chance that I'm going to get a girl. Am I right? Think about it. Those days, you know, we have seen so many movies, right, whereby they say that, oh, you know, the girl couldn't give me a boy, right? But actually, who is determining the gender of the baby? The variation is here. It is the father. Okay, the sperm cells that determine the gender of the baby, because the mother's egg cells, it's fixed, it's X. There's no variation in that. Alright? So I hope you're clear. Any part of this which is not clear and you need me to repeat, what I'm going to do is when I come to school, I'll be coming on Friday. what I will do is I will address all those parts, right, on page 212 and 213 or this, which you're not sure about. I will take a picture and post it up on Google Classroom. It's there, you can write your notes, and also my notes are available in the previous slides, all right, the same thing. So if you need this, you can also copy this down, all right. I hope you had a good class. Now, the balance lesson of this class, I have given the task to your relief teacher. He's going to get you to do the exercises that comes with this lesson, all right. So I hope you understood my lesson, and I hope I got to be as clear as possible. I'm sorry, my dears, I couldn't be with you today, but I will definitely come back and have a class with you, all right.